Hello, wonderful students. How are you doing? Hope you are staying safe. Today, we'll be looking at the topic national symbols continuing. But before we do that, it is important for us to remind ourselves what we did last week. We treated national symbols, whereby we discussed about the coat of arms, the national flag, and the national currencies. Today, we'll be looking at the continuation of national symbols. And before we move on, it is important for the students to note that at the end of the lesson, they should be able to recite the national anthem and the national pledge. Not only that, they should be able to identify the unifying measures included in the national anthem and the national pledge, as well explain the national identity, explain the national passports, and so on and so forth. Let's look at the national anthem. In every places in Nigeria, most especially in schools and the entire sports, during the entire sports at the national stadium, national anthem is an important thing that must be recognized before any agenda can be followed. As a matter of fact, the recitation of the national anthem shows respect to the nation and shows that the citizens accord the necessary respect that should be given to the nation. National anthem, the first national anthem was first written by Miss Lillian, and her full name is Miss Lillian Jeans Williams. She wrote the national anthem, and the music was composed by Frank Bida. And the first national anthem was sung at the celebration of the independence on the 1st of October, 1960. The whole national anthem signifies a lot of things that was happening then. Take for some of us, like the students I'm teaching now, you can imagine your age to compare your age to when the first national anthem was being sung and composed. I will sing the first stanza for us to know what the national anthem was like then. The first stanza sings thus: Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. As the case is, the first stanza was linked to how the story happened. You know, there was colonization of the country, and there were several colonialists that colonized Nigeria as a country. Having passed through all these colonialists, the country was granted freedom at last. And national anthem is a symbol to show that we are independent. So the first national anthem was written by Lillian, Miss Lillian, and was as well composed by Bidam. Okay, the second stanza, our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign, in peace or battle honor, and this we count as gain. to pass our own children, to pass on to our own children a banner without a stain. You know, those are words that you look at it that having secured freedom, independence, we need to know what we are doing to stand on our feet. Then the third stanza says, "O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed." That was the first, and that can be referred to as old national anthem. Let us look at the second national anthem, which was the current national, and which is the current national anthem that we sing at any point in time. In 1978, the second national anthem was composed. How did this happen? A competition was organized, and out of the competition, some winners were selected, and the winners includes John, Akpan, Ogunaike, Sotam, and Aderibigbe. The whole, out of the competition, brought out an excellent composition, and the music tone was composed by the Nigeria Police Band, and this Nigeria Police Band was guided by Ben Odiaze. Now, the current national anthem, when you begin to sing the national anthem, you are expected to be standing up. You stand up and you just don't walk about when the national anthem is on. Let's look at the new national anthem that we want to talk about. I believe most of you will sing it along with me because you are used to this. The song goes thus: "Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity." This really talks about the fight that our forefathers had fought for us to gain independence, that the labor will not go in vain. And we, upcoming citizens, we are to serve with our hearts and with all our might, to have one nation bound in freedom with peace and unity. Let's look at the second stanza, which is, "O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and live in just and truth, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign." And that is our national anthem, the current one that we use to acknowledge the national symbol of our dear great nation. This particular one is telling us that we should, the youth should be guided to help them to know the truth and to be in love and to be honest. The next one that we're going to look at is the national pledge. National pledge is another national symbol that was written and developed, with some virtues in Nigerians. And the virtues in Nigerians proclaim unity among them. National pledge is proclaiming what we supposed to do to be as a citizen of the country. Take for an instance, the national pledge reads thus: I pledge to Nigeria, my country. And whenever you are pledging, there is always something like this that you would do. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity and uphold our honor and glory. So help me God. National pledge is like a form of promise that we are making as a citizen to be a good citizen, to be loyal, to be honest, to be faithful, to serve Nigeria with all our strength, not with lackadaisical attitude, not with I don't care attitude, and to defend our unity, to ensure that all the states of the country, they are in unity, and so on and so forth. And the national pledge is usually read immediately after the National Assembly every day in the morning. The next one that we are going to look at is the Nigerian passport. The Nigerian passport is means of identification as a Nigerian internationally. This is when you obtain visa on, and before you can travel, you must have Nigerian passport. It contains the name, the date, the place of birth, the occupation, the photograph of the holder, and it is usually being issued by the Ministry of Affairs of the Nigerian passport. The next one is the National Identity Card. It's also a means of identification as a citizen of the country of Nigeria, but you cannot use it to travel out to international countries. It involves your name, the name of the holder, your surname, that is the first name and the middle name. It involves the date of birth, the occupation of the applicant, which includes your address, the town you come from, the local government, the state that the holder comes from, your blood group, whether it is zero positive or zero negative, and so on and so forth. Map of Nigeria is another national symbol that if everyone sees, they know that it belongs to a particular country. And the map of Nigeria is where all the 36 states is being mapped out, whereby different geographical boundaries are being specified. And another one is Unity Lamp Day, which is the day we attain independence and the day we were given freedom. We have come to the end of this slide, but before we go, it is important for us to note that what we treated is the national anthem continuum. And the first one that we look at is the first old national anthem, and the second one is the current national anthem. The next one was the national pledge, and the next one was the Nigerian passport and the national identity card. The national identity card, the map of Nigeria, and the Unity Lamp date. We have come to the end of today's lesson. I hope you stay blessed and you remain blessed. Have a wonderful day.